How's it hanging, dudes? My name is Sean and welcome back to Humanity First, and we do have another Yang video today talking about Michael Bloomberg. It's been everywhere. We covered a little bit on yesterday's video, but it's kind of spreading like wildfire, and yeah, I mean, them covering Yang's response so much, as well as Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren's responses so much, might just sink him before he gets in. I mean, people like Bernie Sanders said there's no more billionaires. We'll play the CNN clip with Yang here in just a minute. Just a little tiny clip, not too long. But this article here kind of sums it up pretty nice. So I'm going to go ahead and read that. Let's see here. Yang on potential Bloomberg 2020 entrance. It's probably going to change the price of advertising. And he's probably right, because Michael Bloomberg is a billionaire. We don't need another billionaire running. We really don't. I mean, it's sad, and I'll give you my opinion on Michael Bloomberg after this. Let's go ahead and read. Democratic presidential hopeful Andrew Yang quipped that the possible entrance of billionaire Michael Bloomberg into the 2020 race will probably change the price of advertising. The comments came before the entrepreneur expressed his enthusiasm for the former New York City mayor joining the race. It's probably going to change the price of advertising, Yang joked to CNN after he was asked what effect a Bloomberg candidacy would have on the contest. Mike has a very valuable perspective to offer, Yang added. I'm glad that he's looking at the race. Yang was then asked how he would explain to Bloomberg why he needs $1,000 a month under the entrepreneurial proposal universal basic income plan. Whew, that was a mouthful. There's no comma or anything there. Whew. It's opt-in, so he doesn't need to take it. Knowing Mike is probably wouldn't. Why would? He's a billionaire. Though you don't get to be a billionaire by turning down $1,000 a month. But the thing is, it's like, why would they ask Yang a question like that? Well, why would he need $1,000 a month? Yeah, well, guess what? There's not just billionaires who live in America. Like, come on, CNN. Oh, so we have a little tweet here. You guys can read that if you want and pause. Multiple news outlets reported Thursday that Bloomberg was preparing to file paperwork to declare his candidacy to Alabama's presidential primary. In response, Montana Governor Steve Bullock and the campaign manager, Senator Bernie Sanders, opined that the race doesn't need another billionaire. Senator Elizabeth Warren welcomed him to the race by referring him to her calculator for billionaires to show him how much he'd pay under the proposed ultra-millionaire tax. Now, he is a billionaire, so whenever he comes to town to buy some ads, if he's trying to prop up his campaign, he's going to be able to just spend $1 million, 7-figure ads, left and right, just write a check. Where people like Yang, we're struggling to even, meet our goals because we're such a small grassroots from the foundations up. You have people like the Humanist Report saying like, Yang has a super PAC. He doesn't have a super PAC. There's a third party who has a super PAC for him. If somebody started a super PAC for Bernie Sanders, I'm sure you'd be okay with that. You know what I mean? Like, so let's not get it twisted here. Andrew Yang is 100% grassroots. He's for small donations, and people like Michael Bloomberg, they muddy the waters, and he's obviously only an establishment Democrat. He's only running because of people like Yang's appeal, and he wants to go ahead and squash him because, well, I'm an entrepreneur too, might as well vote for me. And the thing is, it's just like, we need a more representative of America, and Michael Bloomberg is not that. I mean, he's trying to, when he was mayor of New York, trying to tell people that they can only drink certain amounts of soda in the city. Like, come on, dude. Like, what? I'm only allowed to buy a 16-ounce soda? Okay, I'm just going to buy 2 then if I want a 32-ounce soda. You can't tell people how to eat. He's misguided, and he's obviously a mouthpiece for the Democratic establishment. So, Bloomberg, you don't want to catch, you don't want to catch the Bloomberg. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to catch the billionaire Bloomberg. That's kind of like a disease around these parts. But anyways, here's a different clip from CNN with the Wolf Blitzer, where Yang actually says this about Michael Bloomberg.
Yang, who's also a businessman. Thanks very much, Andrew, for joining us. So let me start with the breaking news and get your reaction. Michael Bloomberg, the former mayor of New York, thinking seriously of jumping in to the Democratic primary. What do you think?
Well, he's a phenomenal entrepreneur and businessman. I will say that I think it'd be very tough for someone to jump into the race at this point in time. I'm here in New Hampshire, and I've been here now over 20 times, getting to know the voters of New Hampshire. I just wouldn't envy anyone who tried to get into the race at this late juncture.
Because I suspect he's very uneasy with the current field. of Democratic candidates. He's worried. This is what I've heard from some of his associates over these past few weeks as these rumors were starting. He's worried that the current field might not be able to beat the incumbent president. What do you think?
Well, the burden's on us to present a new way forward and a new vision for the country that gets people excited. That's what's going to help solve the problems that got Donald Trump into office in the first place, and that's what it'll take to beat him in 2020 in the general election. I plan to be that candidate.
So tell us why you think, if let's say he jumps in hypothetically, Andrew, why you think you'd be a better candidate than Michael Bloomberg, who spent a couple terms as the mayor of New York City and by all accounts was widely respected and did well.
I admire Michael's work a great deal. He and I have actually met. But to me, the focus has to be on solving the problems that got Donald Trump elected in the first place. We're going through the greatest economic transformation in our country's history. We started with decimating millions of manufacturing jobs, and now we're heading to retail, transportation, call centers. And to me, the focus has to be on these problems. I know that Michael understands technology in the future, but I haven't seen him present real solutions beyond retraining that, from the data I've seen, will not be effective for the majority of Americans, particularly those who are a bit older, who are being forced to transition.
He's worth billions and billions of dollars. You say it might be too late. He doesn't have to worry about raising money. He's got billions. If he wants to self-fund his campaign, he could easily do that. That's an advantage, right?
Oh, well, for sure. But we already have one billionaire in the race, and we're seeing the limits of what money can do. As someone who's now been campaigning for a number of months, again, there's no substitute for meeting people in their homes or union halls or places of business or worship, and getting the chance to meet people over the last number of months has, to me, been the lifeblood of my campaign. And I think it's very, very hard to substitute that with money.
And Yang's right. I mean, why would he want to get in the race this late? I mean, it's kind of crazy. Like, the race started almost a year ago, really, if you want to get into it. Like, this is crazy. So Michael Bloomberg, you don't want to catch that billionaire-itis, man. You might end up looking like this, you know what I'm saying? That's really all I got for you guys today. Everybody else is covering it, so I kind of wanted to cover it too. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Help Yang get that donation up. You know how to find him. You know his website. Get to it. Come on, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day.
What